Hello everyone, we are going to get this game started way ahead of time, so I'm very much looking forward to this one starting up. Just going to turn off the timer because obviously we're about to start, so just waiting on this last person to get into the room and hopefully we will be good to go. We did just watch the semi-final between Trust and the name of the other team, which I've already forgotten, which is awful. Sleepwalkers, that's the team. We are now into the third place playoff, which is between Sleepwalkers and Eksu. So, looking forward to a really good game. I am Sona, my co-caster today is Grey Goose. What do you think about this game, Grey Goose?
After what we have just seen, Sleepwalkers putting on a very, very strong performance, sadly outperformed by Trust's Poke Siege composition. They had a lot of potential, had a very strong team fighting composition, and if they can get something similar to that at this time, I think they have a very good chance of taking this third place here. However, of course, Eksu also a team that has made it all the way to the third place match, so they're not to be messed with either. We'll see which one of these two teams is actually going to be able to pick up the win for themselves in the end.
I'm exceptionally excited, and it looks like Sleepwalkers are going to be putting out the first ban here. Leifon, that top lane Nexon that we saw in the last game, just waiting to see who decides to ban, and it's another Vayne. Not really that surprised by that one.
I mean, they banned it out in the last game, and as I mentioned before, I'd assume DRK just doesn't want to play it, so they ban it out every time because they're scared of it. The Poppy ban actually being pretty entertaining.
Mate, Poppy is one of the strongest champions in League of Legends at the moment, as is Galio.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Two
of the strongest champions.
I have to intercept here. Poppy is super powerful. Her passive is way broken.
It's true.
It's just that she works with very few compositions, and you have to be able to be good in order to play her. Which means, of course, she'll be generally doing pretty badly. So the other picks we have here, Kassadin, one of the assassin champions that roam around the map and then take out single squishies towards the late game. Very understandable pick there. Master Yi actually surprising me a bit. Haven't seen a Master Yi ban in a long time, but I guess with Poppy and Galio, they're all just messing around a bit. And then the Nidalee ban. Sleepwalkers took away a trauma from that last game. They did not want to have a Nidalee against them again. And there is instantly the Morgana locked in that they did play in the quarterfinals that was banned out against them in those semifinals. They finally get it again and they're instantly picking it up.
Yeah, I don't actually have Morgana being locked in on my screen. It looks like we have a slight bug, but I take your word for it. Morgana was played a couple of matches ago by Sleepwalkers. Very strong pick. I'm actually just going to go across to our normal overlay while we wait for this to sort itself out. If you want to talk us through the rest of the picks and bans, that would be great.
So next up we have a Shaco and a Riven locked in. Shaco also one of those pretty scary junglers that move around a lot, but many people say he's not that good. His late game is kind of iffy. He will only be really strong towards the late game if he had a lot of success in the early game. Now, if he didn't have any success in the early game, towards the end, he's not really good for anything. But his ganks are terrifying. The invisibility can get him unseen behind enemy lines very easily. Riven, of course, a very strong top or against certain champions, even mid laner. It's going to be very interesting to see how she does in that matchup. And really, I feel like if with Riven you get ahead in the first couple of trades, you can then snowball the entire game of that and just get stronger and stronger. And if you pick up a couple of kills, you can really make a huge impact on the game and decide the outcome almost by yourself. Lee Sin and Ezreal were the two pickups that Sleepwalkers went for here. Lee Sin, a very powerful jungler, also very mobile. A lot of utility for his team. I'd assume he goes for a little more tanky Lee Sin in this game, as they will probably not be that tanky on their top laner and support. Leona and Misfortune being picked up on Eksu's side. Now that's a pretty terrifying combo. If you get the what should I call this? The solar bullet time, I guess. If you get the solar bullet time down on a lot of the enemy team, that's going to be really powerful. But this actually makes me think that they could switch the Morgana to support. They played it in mid, so I'm not too sure about this. Morgana support against the Leona is really entertaining, because if you get your spell shield timings down right, you can just deny so much of what Leona brings to the field. So we may just see a traditional support, as we do have a Shyvana hovered over, and Shyvana's been very powerful in these past couple of days, weeks, and patches, and does look like it's going to be a Nami support after all. So Morgana not the pick here.
Right, Nami support is very strong versus Leona and Mistress Fortuna, just because if you hit that Aqua Prism as MF goes in for her bullet time, you are able to stop it basically straight away. Even if you use your tidal wave as well, able to cancel out that bullet timer. Do you see? It looks like a Nautilus being picked up here. Maybe a Maokai. Maokai would be great because it gives you that extra AoE, and I'm gonna sneeze, so I'm gonna mute my mic.
So,
and I'm back. Excellent.
After all, does look like we have both Nami and Shyvana locked in, and I'm gonna be really interested to see how that top line pans out. And we may actually, is that gonna be a lane Shaco? Because if this Volibear really wants to jungle, I mean, we either have a lane Volibear or a lane Shaco, although I'd definitely go for the lane Volibear. I think that's a lot more powerful. And he would theoretically have to be AP, or that's actually a 5-man AD team, except for the Volibear ultimate. That's the only thing that would be... Oh.
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm expecting them to have been inspired by my videos in the break. And the first video we watched was the AP Shaco video. So, in before, 6-item, Lichbane, AP Shaco coming out from Trolls. I might even call him Trolls for this game because pretty sure that's what the Shaco pick is doing. He's going to carry the game with that Shaco now that I've said that, but we do see a couple of really cool teams coming out here.
What on earth?
A lot of AoE damage coming out from Eksu. Not quite as much AoE damage coming out from the other team, but still, with the Soul Shackles coming out from Morgana, Ezreal True Shot Barrage, tidal away from Nami as well. Lee Sin jumping into the fight, using that safeguard to jump back out and keep himself safe if he needs to. And then Shyvana coming with Dragon's Descent. It's going to be a lane Shyvana, which, as you said, has shown up to be very, very strong in the last few weeks and the last few patches particularly, especially with that Blade of the Ruin King.
Indeed, and the Trinity Force, of course, also a good item on her, and at the same time she can still be so incredibly tanky. If she just picks up a couple of defensive items, then her Dragon form actually gives her 40 extra resists, and that makes her super powerful, a very strong frontline tank that can disrupt enemy lines by using that Dragon form in the first place as well. Now, I think that if Eksu get their engages, if they manage to get the solar bullet time down, combined with a Riven on top of that as well, they will do so much damage in such a short amount of time that Sleepwalkers won't really have any chance to react to this, but they have an almost perfect counter play to that. They have a Morgana with a spell shield that can avoid a lot of the CC in the first place. Then they have an Ezreal that can Arcane Shift out of the Zenith Blade, out of the Solar Flare, away from Riven basically, keep kiting it. Nami has also a very strong disengage spell in the form of that tidal wave. Then combo onto that the Aqua Prison and the speed up, and the speed up on her passive for all her allies, and the slow on hit for E. They actually have a lot of disengage, and then the kick away from Lee Sin. So it's really going to be a game of match almost. It's almost going to be a game of tag, whether XU can get their team fighting in and land their AoE abilities. Can't, I'd say Sleepwalkers have a slight advantage here, just because they can disengage easier, but in the end it's all going to come down how these two teams play it, if Sleepwalkers get caught out or not.
Right, one of the other major things I think is going to have a big impact on teamfights is the Summoner spell picks. We can't actually show you them on stream at the moment because I can't get rid of the blockers. So if you all tweet, at EGL, make sure Soda can get rid of the blockers next time, that would be great. But we see actually 3 Ignites coming out from the XU team, whereas there's only 2 Ignites and an Exhaust coming out from the side of Sleepwalkers. That extra Ignite could be really, really the deciding factor in teamfights. A little bit of extra 2 damage and that Grievous Wounds passive as well, helping you make sure that your opponents can't get as much health back as you'd expect. Especially for someone like Morgana, who has that passive, the Soul Siphon passive, gives her that little bit of extra spell vamp. Really, a Grievous Wounds on her is going to do a lot because it reduces the amount of spell vamp she's going to get back. However, Exhaust is very strong as well, especially against an all-AD team. I mean, we don't know if Shaco's AP or AD yet, but if he is AD, you've got the Exhaust that can go down on either him, Mistress Fortune, or Riven, and it's going to really impact how much damage they output in a fight.
I agree, especially I love the exhaust pickup against Riven. Nami had hovered over an Ignite when she first picked it, and then switched over to the exhaust upon seeing the enemy team composition, saying we need this. It's going to make them a little bit weaker in the early lane phase, as Leona has that added damage potential with the Ignite, but I think towards the late game, the exhaust will actually benefit them much more. Now, let us see what they actually do at level 1. Now with the Leona Zenith Blade, and the rest of her team being pretty strong at level 1, Riven of course very powerful at level 1 already, Shaco can put down those in the boxes to surprise someone, to fear someone if they walk into the bush. Volibear already has his Rolling Thunder in order to throw someone backwards into his team or into the Jack in the Boxes possibly. Could be a nice combo there. And then of course there's always the constant threat of the AD carry in the game as well. Now Misfortune of course with a double up, also very strong level 1 damage. Now on the enemy team we have the Dark Binding out of Morgana, and we have the Aqua Prison out of Nami, and that's pretty much it for early CC. Lee Sin and Siobhan and Ezreal all have a little bit of damage, but if it were to come to a full 5-on-5 brawl, especially because of that Ignite which you mentioned, the extra Ignite on Eksu's side, will give them the early advantage in a level 1 brawl, so I'd expect them to really be looking to put on early aggression, unless they have a special game plan set up for Shaco. Maybe they want to give him an early buff from their side and invade with the rest of the members. Could be a variety of things you want to do when you have a Shaco in your game.
And he does bring that sort of level of unexpectability. Is that a word? I'm going to make it a word if it's not. Unexpectability into the game, because you rarely see him at sort of the higher level of play. Perhaps at low levels when someone's smurfing and wants to ruffle stomp, but you really don't see him played that often at higher levels. And with those Jack in the Boxes, with his Shiv as well, the Shiv, I've forgotten what his name is. 2 poisons Shiv? Something like that. The Shiv that he can do a lot of damage out of. It's really going to be interesting to see how he works in lane, because Jack in the Boxes are great, but even a minion can trip them. Like, you're not able to decide who it goes off on and in whose face you put those little spider-like projectiles that come out of them, like little spikes. Spiky things. Spikes.
Spiky things that hurt you. I would say unpredictability was the word you were looking for?
No, unexpectability. It's definitely a word. No,
okay.
Yeah, it was unpredictability.
Okay, I surrender. Your word is better. Sona makes the next Oxford Dictionary in B4. So we are now into the game. We'll see what these two teams decide to do for the level 1. Really excited to see this game. I still can't decide whether Shaco will go mid or top.
I think he might go top.
Doesn't look like he's an AD Shaco.
Yeah, he's picked up the Elixir of Fortitude, so he is going to be an AD Shaco. And if we actually, should we have a quick look at how much damage he's got? 74 at level 1 without any items, so definitely spec heavily into that damage in his Runes of Mastery. It's lots of things coming out from both teams at the moment, so it looks like there's going to be a bottom tri-bush invade from MF. Sissoko is here with a Loom. They haven't actually seen him go into that bush because he's come from mid lane, so they're going for the blue buff invade.
Walk out of it though. They saw him walk out of it.
Okay.
But he spotted all of them as well.
Yeah, nice ward here placed
so
down by Leona.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is tense. This is tense times. Oh, screw ya! Screw ya, you don't want to be there!
Oh,
Trolls is spotted! Nice ward coming out as well. The Shiv comes out onto screw ya. Sort of giving away the fact that they might have vision there. Leona and MF are just hanging around in that bot lane. So many pings coming down. Oh, they're edging forward. There's the Dark Bandit landing on Trolls. He's going to get caught out. Resonating straight into the Aqua Prison. He goes down. First blood. Illume jumping across the water towards his friendly team. Rin is going to escape as well, but that is first blood going down to Ezreal. 1-0-0 and assist for his entire team. Beautifully done by them. It looks like Volibear is going to have to back off quite quickly here. He might get caught out. Sissoko is coming into that bush. That Blade Master Morgana skin looking beautiful as always. Sort of Edward Scissorhands of skins.
Yeah. Oh my god, Leona and MF. No, they're not going to go for it. I thought they may jump onto Nami there. Decide not to do that. And that really, for level 1, devastating. Just the ward out of Nami was so crucial there. Standing in that brush over there, spotting all of them out. And as soon as Shaco and the others moved forward, Shaco revealed himself And
oh, there's going to be a fight here. Caillou and Mr. Left are going to pick up DRK. He's used his barrier. The Ignite is ticking. Flash across the wall. They managed to pick up the kill. Nice Aquapism onto Mr. Left leg there, but Screwyear's getting taken down to about 3/4 health. A ward goes into the bush. Mr. Left leg's like, yeah, whatever, I'll go this way. Don't need to go the wrong way around. Is spamming his taunt as well in the middle of lane. Naga's skill is going to come across. Actually lands that resonating strike. Has got the red buff as well. He's going to go quite low. The Aquapism lands onto Mr. Left leg and he was taunted for too long. He's going to go down. Nagasaki taken down to about 100 health. I cannot believe he just died. Double up! Oh my goodness gracious me! 50 health. Charles getting caught out in the mid lane in that dark binding, standing on the tormented soil as well. Gonna try and put some damage down onto Sissoko. They're not able to do it. There's a fight in top lane. Rin is going down to about half health. Leighton backing away from it as well. Sorry, Leighton backing away from it. Rin has popped that Elixir of Fortitude. I realise these people are in the wrong positions now. Rin's going back in. Is he going to be able to get enough damage? Ignite's gone down. Leighton has to flash away. Flash it with the broken wings. Ignite is ticking. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. Doesn't pick up the kill. And it ends up being 2 for 1 in the favour of Sleepwalkers. I cannot believe this. Oh my goodness gracious me.
I don't even know what to say. Wow, there's just so much aggression going on all over the map, and the CCs chain very, very nicely. The Aqua Prisms have been
oh, Loon's coming into mid lane. Ignite's gone down on Sissoko. He gets flipped with that Rolling Thunder, and Trolls picks up the kill. Nicely done by him, managing to secure that 2 for 2 right now.
And that actually puts us on even in gold, as well as the kills. Neither team really having an advantage, as when you look at it in the first place. Now, I don't know. Ghana was very overextended there. It was pretty easy for Volibear to come in there, fling her backwards, and Shaco had done a surprising amount of damage to her Red Elixir and his health potions. He was actually able to be quite a presence in that lane despite being melee, aside from the 2 poison shiv. And you know, very susceptible to Morgana's damage, and her spell shield negates the effect of the 2 poison shiv as well. So I'd have thought that he would fall very far behind very early on, but instead Morgana overextending a bit, opening up that gag possibility, and Volibear coming in there, making it count. And now there's a double Doran's Blade build on Shaco this early on, and that could be very dangerous as Volibear's in the top lane looking for the gank there.
Yeah, might be able to get this gank off on Leighton. He is really pushed out. There's the broken wind's going to knock him up. Rolling Thunder's going to come out any second. Flings Leighton back. Leighton doesn't actually have flash available anymore. There's the frenzy. Leighton's definitely going to go down. Red buff is proccing. Is Rin going to be able to get in range? He might be able to. He's tanking up the tower. Illum is there as well. Gets the kill. He's going to take a couple of tower shots, and Morgana is coming across. The Rolling Thunder has been popped. Is he going to be able to get away from this quickly enough? Has popped that passive, so he's regenerating health at an increased rate, but I don't think he's going to get caught. Dark Binding, Tormented Soul. Actually, there's a king in the bot lane. DRK solidifying that one onto Mr. Left Leg. He goes down. Wow, there's just so much action going on. We can't even keep up with it.
Leona wanted to get the kill on Tanami. There was a ward in that bottom brush. Me stood on top of that ward, so Leona thought she had a free engagement. MF did a nice amount of damage. Nami barely got away. 1 auto hit was left in order to take her down, and then Leona overextending just a little bit. All of a sudden, she was already low. Ezreal just turns around, the kill there. Shaco looking for the kill near the golems. Couldn't quite manage. Nami had already gone back. Very nicely thought out there. Staying safe, going back to base, buying the Philosopher's Stone, plus a couple more vision items for herself, and now that puts Leona quite far behind. The 3 assists on Nami, really doing.
They're going in mid lane. Sorry, here comes the Rolling Thunder. Suzuka's going to get taken down with that 2 shiv poison as well. 2 poison shiv. Sorry, Loom gets called out there with the Sonic Wave. He's going to go down. There's the Tormented Soil. Manages to solidify that kill. Charles is getting taken out a little bit by the Tormented Soil, but has to back away. Nicely done. Nagasaki's going to go back in on this one with that Resonating Strike. Nice deceive away there by Charles, managing to keep himself alive.
And that's actually something we haven't touched on at all. If the Resonating Strike lands onto Shaco, he will be unable to juke the entirety of the game. He'll just be unable to hide, because it reveals him even in stealth. So that's actually something I hadn't noticed at all, but it will be crucial at some of the later teamfights. Shaco, of course, is champion that wants to juke as much as possible. We are
actually getting caught out again there by Dark Binding, getting taken really low. has to deceive away again. Wow, down to about 200 health. I mean, one thing we see from the Shaco is he's gone for really, really early game build. Got that Elixir of Fortitude to start off with, and has now gone for that double Dorans. Dorans obviously not upgrading into anything, so really wants some early kills, wants the early advantage. And we talked about how you really, as Shaco, you want to get a lot of early kills, you want to get the early advantage, otherwise you kind of just get shut out late game.
Indeed, and right now it's not looking good for the higher ranged Morgana with her excellent pushing and farming ability is just basically posing a huge danger to him right now. He's not able to keep up. And Shyvana and Riven are trading back and forth the damage. Riven beautifully freezing the lane near her tower, and it's given her a nice 14 CS advantage already. But on the bottom lane, we already see a 15 CS advantage for Ezreal, so that basically evens itself out, just that the AD carry is the one more farm for Sleepwalkers. So that's very nice for them. They want to keep up this pressure in the bottom lane.
There's a gank coming in top lane. Nagasaki is going to come around. Leifun is there as well. The Dragon's Rage kick is up. Nagasaki solidifying that kill. Nicely done. Ignite's gone down on him as well, but not going to take anywhere near enough damage to go down. Puts it 5-3 in the favour of Sleepwalkers right now.
And time again, it's just overextension or greediness. Earlier, with the Volibear gank in mid, they went very, very deep. Despite the spell shield being up on Morgana, she negated the flip, and then they turned that around, picked up a kill onto Volibear. Now the same thing, Riven very far out in the lane. Easy gank for Lee Sin. He just comes in there through the Tribush area, picks up a kill for his teammate, and picks up a kill himself actually, and this will snowball him ahead. Lee Sin definitely a champion that can do very well with early kills. He can snowball the rest of his team ahead. He's already got the Sightstone, so he can do all of his fancy little ward hopping. As now, he's also picked up the Boots of Mobility, so he's really looking to be all over the map and make something happen in every lane.
That's one of the major things you have to do with Lee Sin early. We've talked about how like the Eksu team really wants to be ahead, but with Lee Sin you need to get some early ganks off, you need to get those early kills, and he's managed to do that. 2-0-2 at the moment. He's got that kill in the top lane, he's got the kill in the mid lane as well. So Zoko's going to get engaged upon here. Deceiver's come out, Jack in the Box has not gone down yet. There's a nice Soul Shackles, actually locking Illume in with the Dark Binding as well. Tormented Soil coming down, taking him down really low. He has popped that passive, and Nagasaki is going to come across, lands that Resonating Strike onto Trolls. Nicely done, he tried to deceive away from it, but wasn't able to, as we said. Dark Binding came out, hitting Trolls, flip back there onto Nagasaki. He might get taken down, one more tower shot, he does go down. Deceive away from Trolls, managed to keep him alive. Illume is going to keep going on this, got that double with Ignite, Dark Binding, is it going to be enough? He's popped the Rolling Thunder, he flashes, but Sissoko getting double buff off that. If I were Trolls, I would not be a happy camper, giving double buff across towards that mid laner.
And it's still very dangerous for him. If a single binding lands on him, he will die. Now, that was beautifully done by Morgana in the first place. Her spell shield was so perfectly timed that it negated every single CC ability out of Shaco and Volibear. The Rolling Thunder was blocked. The Majestic Roar, the Slow Fear, was blocked. Shaco's 2 Poison Shiv was blocked. And she just was able to basically walk out of that, then turn around with her Soul Shackle, put a cage onto Volibear as well, triggering his passive. And then Lee Sin came in there, very deep under the tower, wanted to get that kill in the end, ended up going down. Shaco barely getting away by the skin of his teeth, but luckily Morgana in the end with her Ignite still up did manage to pick up the kill onto Volibear, so that was a 1-for-1 trade, and we are now looking at a 6-4 with a 1,400 gold advantage in favor of Sleepwalkers, and they're making this count. Ezreal has a Phage and a Sheen as opposed to the Avarice Blade with a double Dorns and a Longsword. That actually surprises me. I haven't seen an Avarice Blade as the first item for quite a while on an AD carry. Bubble lands.
Yeah, Bubble Lines, Zenith Blade actually coming in as well. There's the Solar Flare with the bullet time as well. Nagasaki's around, but look at how low that person is in the back line. Ignite's gone down. Ko's going to go and dash to try and flash onto DRK. Doesn't manage to do anything there. Dragon's Rage kick knocking left leg back. There's a kill in the top lane while all of this is going on. Sonic Wave into the Zenith Blade. Doesn't manage to solidify it. Nagasaki getting that kill. Leifun's going to go down to Illume here in the top lane. Turns out to be a 2-for-3 exchange in favour of Sleepwalkers. Nicely done.
Very nicely done indeed, but that was what I mentioned. The only chance for the spot lane to win right now is if they manage to get that solar bullet time, or whatever you want to call it out. Because combined with the CC, the bullet time will do so much damage, and it got both Ezreal and Nami solo, picked up the kill onto Nami, but they weren't quite able to get Ezreal. He had his berry and his flash up, was able to get out, as now the bottom tower dies for you. They will not have that safeguard in their back pocket anymore. Shaco and Morgana still battling it out in the mid lane. Shaco actually staying closer in CS than I would have thought he would. Because
one cool thing I've
he's
seen,
only
one cool thing I've seen
behind.
Shaco doing is using his Jack in the Box to dodge Dark Binding, so to speak. He chucks it down as he sees Morgana lining up for that Dark Binding and actually blocks it, so he's not taking any of the damage from that. Just a little nifty thing that you can do as Shaco. I mean, oh, he doesn't actually manage to dodge that one. Gets Tormented Soil, and that's about a quarter of his health. It's a huge amount of damage if he does get hit by one of them.
Indeed, and Leona utilizing her beautiful ward clearing in the bottom lane. Of course, one of the champions that can clear a ward instantly by using her auto attack reset. Now this is going to be a refresh on the blue buff for Morgana, and that's going to be terrible for Shaco. She will just be able to keep pushing. And one thing she hasn't been doing all game is actually utilizing that push advantage she has over Shaco. As we see a fight in the top lane.
Yeah, there is a bit of a fight. Illum has actually come across and taken control of this top lane now, and it looks like Riven has decided to roam around a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very odd. They're engaging the bot lane. There's a curse of sad bullet time. Screwya's getting taken quite low. True Shot Barrage coming out. Mr. Left Leg is going to go down. Nice solar flare onto DRK, but Caillou has to run in the opposite direction. Rin is getting taken quite low here as well. Here comes Lee Sin. Nagasaki going to go onto Caillou, getting him really low. Resonating Strikes come out as well. Caillou might go down here. Nagasaki should be able to solidify this one nice and easy. He actually misses that Resonating Strike, but he does get taken down in the end of it. Rin is trying to run between these two towers in mid lane. Tags up a couple of tower shots. DRK is coming in, trying to solidify that one, and across comes Lathan as well. He's going to be jumping on Rin. He uses that to try and get in. There's the Dragon's Descent. Rin might be able to escape, but the Flame Breath has come out. Is it going to be enough? Ignite pops, and Rin goes down. Nicely picked up there by Lathan.
Wow, so they tried to make the Riven roam to the bot lane and then the 3-on-2 dive work for themselves. It did not work out. The Nami tidal wave, beautifully timed, was instantly there to interrupt the bullet time, so that negated a lot of the damage they could have had, and then Ezreal was able to get out, beautifully picked up the first kill. That was really clutch. He got far enough out, got the True Shot Barrage across, then landed his skill shots, picked up kill number 1, and then he was able to go back under his tower. Lee Sin was there in time to take out Misfortune, who was trying to escape, and then Morgana and Riven really just chased it down, and that in turn enabled Sleepwalkers to pick up a free dragon, and Eksu, with so many people down or having to go back, they were not able to contest that whatsoever. Now this gives another huge advantage over to Sleepwalkers. Ezreal has his Trinity Force done at 14.5 minutes into this game. He's so far ahead of Misfortune. Morgana has that Catalyst, the Protector, and she has 3,100 gold in her back pocket. Once she goes back, she can, she could insta-buy a Death Cat, but I don't think she wants to do that. She wants a Rod of Ages stacking up as early as possible. Maybe go start the Zonya's Hourglass, as that's really one thing that you want on Morgana, and Shyvana has the Sunfire Cape done. All of these guys, despite it still being very early in the game, getting their first big item done will be crucial as soon as the big team fights come around. So even though Eksu is kind of a team fighting composition, a very AoE-centric AoE team fighting composition, it's not going to be enough. If there's so big of an item advantage in favor of Sleepwalkers, they can just outdo that team fighting potential that Eksu have for themselves.
Yeah, one cool thing we have seen here, Lathan actually managing to pick up the red buff from Eksu, stealing away a bit more of their jungle. We talked about this in the last game. When you're ahead, get further ahead. If you can steal the buffs, if you can steal golems or wraiths or anything like that, really helps you out. And Rin is not having a fun time. 3 levels behind his lane opponent. 20 CS behind as well now, and Lathan has a Sunfire Cape. There is a pause coming out, so we'll just chuck up our pause screen really quickly. Need to change that overlay because I was given one with the wrong name. So just going to quickly change over our overlay.
So yeah, we just do have a quick CC in the game. We hope that we can go back into this game really, really quickly. So, as I mentioned, Lee Sin going for the rather tanky route, picking up the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. That's going to be very nice for his team. Together with Shyvana, he'll really be able to be a nice front line for Morgana and Ezreal to just sit in the back and do all their damage. Now, Ezreal picked up the BF sword as well. He's going to be huge danger in this entire game. Shaco does look like he wants to build that Blade of the Ruin King. Same thing on Misfortune, but she still has that Avarice Blade. I guess she just wants to get as much passive gold stacking up. She's already got about
wait, this is not going to be good.
gold
Rin is running into a dark binding. There's the Dragon's Descent as well. Actually knocking them out of the Tormented Soil. Rin doesn't manage to escape though. I think she burnt her flash at the end of that one. Yes, she did.
Yep.
Still got taken down. No ignites or anything ticking, so it must have been an auto attack that was coming across the wall.
Now Lee Sin in the bot.
Oh yeah, Lee Sin going in on the bot lane onto Mr. Left Leg. Nice insect mechanics there, knocking him back into his team. Red buff is proccing. There's the tidal wave. Mr. Left Leg goes down to Nagasaki. Suzuko did try and come across and stop Kairu from being able to push this mid lane. Has got there with that Tormented Soil. Is just going to be able to take down these minions really quickly, and this bot lane push is continuing.
And they're so strong. Lee Sin, pretty good at taking down towers. Nami, of course, beautiful tower support as well. She has heal for your AD carry. She can make your team clear the wave a little bit faster with her E, and then she has a stun in case anyone comes around and tries to stop you. As well, of course, a very nice tower pusher, especially with that Trinity Force and a PF sword on top of that. They do so much damage to towers. They've taken down the inner bottom tower before the mid outer is even down. Morgana really not pushing as much as she could, as Shyvana may dive here.
Yeah, Shyvana's coming in, not going to be able to push on mid that hard. Oh, Tormented Sword and Dark Binding. There's the Ignite as well. Rin's going to go down! Wow! Leifun just tanking up the tower forever. Used the Flame Breath to secure herself a kill. Nicely done by Shyvana, and a nice Dark Binding landing from Suzuko. 15 kills to 7 now. 7,000 gold in the lead. Only 17 minutes into the match. Lots of 7s there. There's no 7 kills in anyone, so I can't even say that. If only Nagasaki had picked up one more.
Not going to take long. Nagasaki just going to pick up another one soon.
Oh, here comes the Zenith Blade onto Mr. Left Leg. There's the curse of the sad solar flare. The true shot barrage comes out as well. Aquaphism onto Mr. Left Leg. Dr. Cool is getting taken down quite low. Nice Dark Binding onto a Loom. Here comes the Resonating Strike from Nagasaki. He's going to go back in. Tries to use that Dragon's instead. The Soul Shackles came out, but Trolls managed to pick up Suzuka before it lands. Nagasaki's going to get taken out as well here by Trolls. Aquaphism coming in, and Loom is rolling towards DRK. He gets taken quite low. He's got the double kill though. Almost going to go down. The 2-ship poison will be enough. Shaco getting a triple kill. Screwya is going to get tanked under this tower. Trolls is tanking this one up. It is actually him, not his clone. Quadra kill. Shyvana coming in the back. Rin is here as well. Leifun managed to pick up that kill. Leifun, if you could just sacrifice yourself to the Shaco as an appeasement to the gods, that would be great.
Sadly, he's not going to do that. Shaco would not even be able to take down this super tanky Shyvana before the timer for the pentakill ran out. Shyvana at this point, Sunfire Cape and those boots and the Dorn Shield, super tanky, but all the tankiness in the world will not help you if you're not with your team. And she wasn't there this time, and in turn, Eksu got a beautiful engagement. They were able to take out Morgana very, very early on in that fight. Lee Sin was forced to run away. He was pretty low to start with, and then couldn't really do anything. And the Soul Shackle, as you mentioned, was not able to land because Morgana died too quickly. She does not have the Zanya's Hourglass. Now she does. Just picked it up. That's going to be huge in the next team fight. Being able to use that ultimate then the Zanya's Hourglass, because the invulnerability should usually last you long enough to land the stun out of the Soul Shackle. Now, Riven is going full glass cannon. She has no items aside from that Ravenous Hydra. But she does damage, but she can get blown up really easily. On the other hand, Shaco and Misfortune now have the Blade of the Ruined Kings done, so they're going to be a bigger threat. This fight was really, I guess, a little bit of a concession from Sleepwalkers to Eksu, letting them play this game a little longer, because otherwise Sleepwalkers were just gaining an advantage and snowballing that farther and farther in their favor. And they still have the item advantage, just gotten at least a little bit closer. It's all going to depend on how they play these next, I'd say, 10 minutes.
It is vital, a vital 10 minutes, especially considering you do have a Loom on that Volibear. Got the Spirit of the Ancient Golem and the Aegis as well, not quite built into a locket yet. Also have Leona, who can build quite tanky. She's actually got the items for haunting guys at the moment with the Ruby Crystal and the Amplifying Tome. So I doubt that's going to be a haunting guys, but you never know. This game has brought up quite a few surprises, so could quite possibly be one. What I expect to see quite soon is Toj is gonna start split pushing. If he doesn't, he's not playing AD Shaco properly. Like, you want to be able to split push. It's so easy to get away from teams when they have to come around onto you, and you can rotate round towards the rest of your team and really be able to help them out, because the rest of their team, the people who've gone to stop you split pushing, aren't going to be able to respond in time. So you can deceive over walls, you can get there a lot quicker. if he manages to get a couple of split push off, get those outer towers down on the side lanes, might be able to get his team back into this. It is only 6,500 gold at the moment. It does sound like a lot, and it is a lot, but if you get a couple of turrets, that's going to go down to 4,000, a couple more is going to go down to 2,000. You can really get your team back into it by taking those objectives.
Indeed, it is currently 4-0, so there is a lot of gold stored in towers basically out there on the field for Eksu. Dragon's going to be up in 30 seconds, so we'll see if we do see a fight there. And if we do, this item advantage that Sleepwalkers have had but not really been able to make count in a big engagement yet, that could be the time when they can really utilize it for themselves. However, Morgana is up in the top lane, and Shyvana does look to be going up there as well, and that could actually delay them so much that with a sneaky dragon, Eksu could pick up a further advantage for themselves. However, I do think that's going to be very, very difficult for them to do. Shyvana now picking up the Bilgewater Cutlass as well. She wants to do the extra bit of damage. She picked up the Warden's Mail, thought about going for either the Frozen Heart or the Randuin's armor. Randuin's Omen.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Omen.
Sorry about that. But then she decided to actually do a little more damage on top of that Sunfire Cape damage and all her abilities, and picked up that Bilgewater Cutlass. I do think that Sleepwalkers need a Randuin's Omen as soon as possible, because there's just so much AD damage on Eksu. They have Riven, Shaco, Morgana, and Volibear. All of those guys basically do attack damage. For Volibear with his ultimate, that's the only magic damage they have on those 4 characters. And if Sleepwalkers manage to armor up against this, the Zhonya's Hourglass on Morgana is already going to do huge amounts of work for her. And then the Aegis, of course, giving a little bit of armor over to Lee Sin. The Sunfire Cape and the Ninja Tabi, combined with that Warden's Mail, we already saw how tanky Shyvana was earlier when diving that tower onto Shaco. Shaco and tower weren't able to scratch Riven. Shyvana. She's just able to stand there and take so much damage because she's so heavily armored. There's not enough AP damage from Eksu to really go in there. Even Nami. Look at Nami's items. She has Ninja Tabi and a Chain Vest. That alone is going to make her super tanky against the entirety of Eksu's team, and maybe disable them from just assassinating her out of the blue. And that, in the end, can be the deciding factor in a team fight if your support is up or not.
Yeah, Nami almost got caught out a little bit there by the Shaco. Not doing quite as much damage with that 2-ship poison as you would want to do, but looks like Dragon has been started here by Nagasaki. So many walls going down. Solar Flare actually going in as well. Nagasaki not quite going far enough there. There's the tidal wave. Mr. Left Leg about in the back line here. Kaibu got caught out by that Dark Binder. He's going to go down to the Tormented Sword. Nice Dragon's Descent as well. He did use the bullet time before that ended.
Wow.
Troll's getting taken really low. That is actually the clone, so he gets bursted down. Not quite getting them the kill because it wasn't quite him. Rin taking the top turret while all of that was happening, so they are going to get something out of this. They have lost one person. Dragon's going to go down as well towards the Sleepwalkers team. Oh, Dark Binding landing on Mr. Left Leg. He's going to go down. He popped that Eclipse, but isn't going to be able to survive. Illume is going to be their next target. Nagasaki is going back to stop Rin from being able to push out this top lane, but Trolls coming around the side. He manages to get a little bit of damage onto Nagasaki. Nice deceive there by Trolls. Going to push him back, but I think he's going to try and go back in on this one just to stop them from backing away. He's waiting in that bush, Is he going to go? No. Decides against it. He's going to go on Dr. K. Is he going to be able to get enough damage? I'm not sure. Ezreal is fed at the moment. Illume comes across, Rolling Thunder. Trolls going in. Dr. K picking up the kill. There's the spell shield as well. Wow, that frenzy did some damage there. Huge amounts onto DRK. Nice start binding onto Illume though, and Suzuki is still there. Hasn't got Shell Shackles up or the Ignite, so Rolling Thunder is going to be able to get Illume out of this one.
Yeah, that was kind of a back and forth fight. Ezreal staying out around there a little tiny bit too long. Of course, it did give him a nice amount of shutdown gold onto that Shaco. So I don't think he's going to regret that too much for himself there, especially since Shaco died. Now, what I expected them to do, what I expected Sleepwalkers to do, was just after the dragon, completely ignore the rest of Eksu, go down to the bot lane, push down that inhibitor tower. Or move over to the mid lane and at least take an inner tower. Rin was pushing the top lane, but I mean, all she did was take about 2/3 of that top tower out, and Lee Sin was already going back to take care of that. Now, if the rest of the team had kept going, I'm pretty sure they could have at least gotten one more tower out of that, and that would have further solidified their advantage. If they had managed to get that inhibitor tower, they would have finally cracked open a pathway to the enemy base, and then with the next big push, they could have just sieged that up. They do have the potential, as we may see a fight here in mid.
Yeah, a little bit of damage coming down onto Trolls from Nagasaki. Nagasaki can almost trade across with that Shaco at the moment. See Screwya with his oracles, trying to clear out as many wards as possible, just creating that extra map vision, extra map presence for them as well. Rin has been forced to back away from top lane by Lathan. Nami is coming across as well, but it's just trying to check out those Baron wards. We talked about getting as much vision as you can. There is going to be a fight in both mid lane and top lane. Rin getting engaged upon a little bit, using that broken winds to get away. Burnout has been popped. Oh, nice start binding, landing there onto Mr. Left Leg. Illume goes in onto Nagasaki. I'm not sure that's the right target. Rin taking down to about 3/4 health while all of this is going on. There's nice solar flare. There's the bullet time, but Sissoko uses Zhonya's with the soul shackles as well. Illume's going to go back in. Dark binding lands. Leifon has actually picked up Rin while all of this was happening. Illume is trying to go back in on this one, but DRK picks up Charles with a beautiful arcane shift into Mystic Shot combination. Really, really well done, and the bullet time with the solar flare not working out quite as well as they would have wanted it to. Sissoko just popped that Zhonya's, was able to survive through it. Oh, Dark Binding landing there on Kairu. He's going to be one dead Mistress Fortune, taken down with a True Shot Barrage and a Nagasaki. Just going a Nagasaki. He's so skilled that I don't even need to name the skills anymore. He is just a Nagasaki. It's like a kamikaze, but it's a Nagasaki.
Indeed he is, and that Shyvana is so terrifying. She's 7-2-4 with 154 CS. Leona's just gonna die.
Yeah, Mr. Left Leg going down as well. Illume having to pop out that Rolling Thunder to try and go away. This is going to be an inhibitor. They might even keep pushing for the Nexus if they want to. Looks like they're going to back away. Try and just keep this one safe. Lathan spamming out that taunt. A little bit like Mr. Left Leg did earlier in the game, but not quite the same end result. As we know, Mr. Left Leg did die when he did that. So a bit better timing there from Lathan, I might say.
Indeed it is, but that just... It's so terrifying. What do you do against a team that is so far ahead of you? They are now 11,100 gold ahead. It is 6-1 in towers, 25-12 in kills. What do you do against this? Especially with an all AD composition. I mean, Leona picked up the Haunted guys, as you mentioned, but that's not going to be enough in terms of AP damage to take out this very, very beefy, very far ahead enemy team. It's a 7-3-9 Ezreal, a 7-2-5 Lee Sin, 8-2-4 Shyvana, and a 3-2-7 Morgana. Top of that, you have a pretty fed support as well that has a Glacial Shroud and Ninja Top. So even Nami is really tanky. What do you do against this with an all AD composition? There is nothing you can do other than try pick up Last Whispers and hope. Or, I don't know. It's super good engagement. In the end, the picks coming out of Sleepwalkers are very, very strong there, and Eksu's not quite as powerful in order to get this game out for themselves. Shyvana almost has the Randuin's Omen done, and with her Dragon form, she can always jump to the back line, then use that with the Dragon's Descent, and really disable any of the further attack damage out of Eksu, and this may just be the free uncontested Baron for Sleepwalkers here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to get this one really quickly. Blame the Moon King on Shyvana, going to be doing a lot of damage, and then Ezreal pounding away on it as well with that Bloodthirsted Triforce and Last Whisper. Takes it away for free. Blue team have slain Baron Nashor, puts them about 11,000 gold in the lead. Mr. Left Leg might get caught out again here. Uses that Sonic Wave, actually hits up 3 people really nicely, but the Sonic Wave had already come out. Dark Binding from across the wall. Lathan picking up that kill. Shaco is split pushing in the bot lane, but an Elsa turret is not quite worth it, Shaco. I'm very sorry to tell you that you're not quite getting the advantage that you thought you might be. Rin going to get caught out with the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike combination. Dragon's Rage kick into the wall. Here's Sissoko. DRK picking up that one. They're going to get this turret as well. Looks like Shaco has decided to back away, but 2 kills down, 2 turrets down probably in just a second. And that Baron, really not a good trade. There's the Curse and Sad Bullet Time. Dragon's Descent coming in as well. Kairu's going to get taken down by the True Shot Barrage. Tidal Wave coming in as well. Illume is not in a good position here. Nagasaki is tanking up this tower, so it's going to take them a little bit longer to get it than they'd like. Trolls coming in. DRK, Soul Shackles coming in as well. There's the Resonating Strike. Sissoko picking up that one. Illume is fighting across here with Lathan. He's just going to tank up the entire damage from Leona and from Illume right there. This is an inhibitor down, the second one of the game. They're going to push on to the Nexus turrets, and this should be GG here for Sleepwalkers.
Indeed, it should be. I don't see how there's anything that they can do.
Oh, Zenith Blade coming in. Ribbon's going into the middle of that, but look at that melt! Wow, so much damage. Mr. Left Leg and Illume going down as well. Cypher are up to you, Grey Goose. That was incredible damage.
No, please. That was so devastating. I don't even know what to say. They just completely decimated Eksu throughout the majority of that game. Itemized beautifully. Misfortune getting taken out there just time and time and time again. My god. Wow. There's not that much to say other than
really isn't.
Domination. It's a massacre.
Well played by Sleepwalkers. They are our 3rd place winners here today. Eksu do go into 4th place, nicely done by them as well. So we'll be going into the final any moment now. We're just going to go into the post-game stream, have a quick look at some of the stats from this last game. Did you bug splat, or are you still here?
I am actually still here. It just took a while.
Excellent. Okay, so why don't you run us down some of the statistics that you want to have a look at here, Sven?
So the one thing that interests me always is damage dealt to champions. And if we go over there, actually see, Misfortune tried to do a decent amount of damage, but even the top laner, Shyvana, doing more damage than her. And she was the only one on her team that did any damage. Riven at 5,600 damage was so useless throughout the entire game. Leona did more damage than her. And I mean, Leona is really not a damage champion. And that just tells the entire story of how this game went down. The only advantage that was ever in this game was in that bot lane, or the only chance, let's say it that way, that Eksu ever had was in that bot lane. The other lanes were almost lost from the get-go. Shyvana dominating the top lane, Morgana dominating the mid lane. Despite a few early mishaps with ganks there from Volibear, but they just turned it around, executed their composition beautifully, and just kept calm. Said, they're all AD, all we have to do is stack a little bit of armor, and we can take them out in a calm and decisive manner and just close out the game for ourselves. Beautifully played there, and really, I mean, an 11-3 13 Ezreal, an 8-2 12 Lee Sin, a 9-2 9 Shyvana, they leave nothing to be desired. All of these champions not only going for damage, but also a little bit of tankiness, so they always could survive the burst damage out of Eksu and then just turn around and massacre them. I mean, 33-12 isn't even funny. They just took them out.
Yeah, really nicely played by them. We will be back in our finals any moment now, so stick around, guys. I'm not sure who the finals are between. I know that we will be seeing the team that we saw in the semi-finals again, so that's Trust. Not sure who they will be playing against, but well done here to... Oh, it's Trust versus BIT, so that's Bananas in Tuxedos. Really looking forward to that. Well done here to Sleepwalkers. They managed to win against Eksu. They'll be taking home 1,600 RP each, while as Eksu will be taking home 800 RP each. So looking forward to the grand finals, which will be for 3,200 RP and the Triumphant Rise skin for each player. We'll be back in just a minute. I've been Sona, and my co-caster thus far has been...
Rigus, thank you very much for watching.